My name is Cassie, and I am a Hufflepuff. I came to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry at the customary age of 11. When you're that young, you have a lot of ideas about what things should be, especially after the hype of the Harry Potter books. Gryffindor just became the honorable house, the one that you wanted to get into. I think that plays a lot into the way that things are working now. Something rather interesting and perhaps a little frightening has been happening inside of the walls of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Many of the students there are claiming that, well, they're being prejudiced against because they are Hufflepuffs. They feel as though they are actually lower than the other classes, as though they are somehow less important because they are Hufflepuffs, because of the house that they have been sorted into. A lot of the other houses are really pompous. They just seem to think that they're better than us just because they got sorted into this house based on qualities that they, may or may not have and may or may not grow into. The fact of the matter is that if you're sorting people who are allegedly brave into a house that is for the brave, they're gonna act more brave to stand up for their namesake. I can side to an extent with the Hufflepuffs' cry for attention, because being a Ravenclaw, I understand what it means to be in one of the least publicized houses. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry has in the past been criticized for its obvious speciesism, and now the students are turning on other students. It's not enough to be of the same species. Now, apparently, you must be of the same house. Hufflepuffs are just sissies. People need to accept that. In my opinion, all of this controversy and all of this complaining, it's really just about jealousy. I mean, we all know that Hufflepuffs are jealous. They're jealous of every other house. All Hufflepuffs would rather be in any house than the one that they're in. I mean, Gryffindor, we're home of the brave. It's just what we do. We're brave and chivalrous and exciting. And who doesn't want to be those things? Harry Potter is this brave character. Everyone wants to be just like Harry. Everyone, wants to be everyone wants to be the star. That's basically what you're labeled as if you get put into Gryffindor house. If you get put into Hufflepuff, I think a lot of people assume that it's just because you didn't have any good qualities and so they just stuck you in the leftover house. A lot of us just kind of get pegged as leftovers. The different houses now, they really put a label on you. Like I said, Hufflepuffs are made to be the leftovers. Gryffindor really is the only way to go. Ravenclaws are usually seen as just weird outcasts. And of course, the Slytherins are just depicted as evil. Am I proud to be Gryffindor? Yeah, I am. I mean, would I say that we're better than any house? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, do I think that Gryffindor is the best house to be in? Yeah, I love Gryffindor. I love being in it. I don't see why anyone would want to be in any house but Gryffindor. But that doesn't mean I think that I, as a person, am better than them. I just was clearly good enough to be in the better house. Many Hufflepuffs are ostracized by their schoolmates. They're beginning to spend more and more of their time either only with other Hufflepuffs or simply alone. No one really wants to hang out with Hufflepuffs. Hufflepuffs make great friends, but no one wants to hang out with them because of this reputation that they've gotten, just for being lame. They're really boring people in other houses, I mean, just look at Cho Chang. She was in Ravenclaw, right? And what the hell? She wasn't smart at all. She was just Asian. Really, these complaints coming from Hufflepuffs, they're just unfounded. They think that we're attacking them because they just wish that they had been in our house. And I mean, it's not that we don't want to be friends with them, it's just that Hufflepuffs aren't interesting people. Hufflepuff is synonymous with pussy. I mean, that's it. That's all they'll ever amount to. They don't have the balls like Slytherins. They don't have the balls like Gryffindors, even. And they don't have the brains like Ravenclaws. So what do they have? They're badgers. What do badgers do? Sit around in the woods. I saw this Hufflepuff today, right? They have a homemade peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the crust cut off. Who does that? No one I know, except for Hufflepuffs. Hufflepuffs such as the one as I met with today feel underappreciated. They say that students make fun of them, teachers don't respect them, and parents are disappointed in their house. I wasn't really expecting to get put into Hufflepuff house. Both of my parents were actually Gryffindors, and So they were really proud of Gryffindor House. My mom actually she was really upset when I sent her the owl telling her that I got put in Hufflepuff House. I mean, she told me that she was happy to have a kid who was in another house so that they could, you know, make a name for that house. But I really think that she was just disappointed that I wasn't put in Gryffindor. Worst of all, recent studies have shown that Hufflepuff's grades are spiraling downwards. There's nothing to show that the Hufflepuffs aren't working equally as hard. In fact, their workload has been almost doubled in recent years. On average, Hufflepuffs study and practice spellwork more often than Gryffindors or Slytherins. They come second to Ravenclaws, however they still spend many hours a night working. Hufflepuffs are usually not only just ostracized, but I mean they get picked on. Plain fact of the matter. They're the butt of everyone's jokes. No one ever will take them seriously. They just act like Hufflepuffs have nothing to offer. But I mean, we are loyal and we work really hard, and we just don't deserve to be treated this way. As far as these studies that have linked the way Hufflepuffs are treated with their schoolwork, I just don't find that accurate. Because Ravenclaws are often treated similarly, and yet our grades are excellent. I think maybe Hufflepuffs are just using that for attention. If they were as really hardworking as they say they are, you'd think that they could just bring their grades up. I think that really can just be lent to their own incompetence. All the other houses, you know, they really take it for granted. They just don't seem to get it, you know? Being a Hufflepuff is hard. It's hard, and we didn't choose this. We didn't choose this, and people act like we've got nothing to be proud of. It's hard. People act like we're just such sissies, but I mean, really, it's hard.